Welcome to the Upgrade Cycle, the podcast where we explore the cutting edge of technology, focusing on the gadgets that shape our everyday lives. I'm Steve, and I'm here with Jovany today, and we're strapping in and diving headfirst into the world of wearables.
We're talking about the latest smartwatches from Google, Samsung, and Apple, the hottest new earbuds, and the best audio gear to pair with your phone. And the best part, we've got some devices with us.
In this episode, we'll share our first impressions, some highlights, our favorite features, and talk about where these devices could be even better at, and discuss what these new releases mean for the future of wearables. So whether you're a tech enthusiast, a casual user, or just curious about what's new, stick around. We're about to upgrade your knowledge on all things wearable. All right, everyone buckle up, because we're diving headfirst in this world of smartwatches. These things have practically become an extra limb for some people. And with all the new releases, it's getting hard to make a choice between which ones to choose from.
Yeah, so basically with Apple, Samsung, and Google, they're all bringing their A game, honestly. But let's begin with Apple, with the Apple Watch Series 10. What's the buzz about with that one?
Well, Apple's hyping up a faster processor, some new sensors, a longer battery life, plus some design tweaks and some new colors to add to the mix. I mean, you're an Apple guy. What do you think of it? Is it worth an upgrade to the Series 10?
Well, honestly, it can vary depending on what Apple Watch you got. I know I'm coming from, well, when I had my iPhone, I had the Apple Watch Ultra. So upgrading to the Series 10, I didn't really see a huge upgrade other than like it being lighter, a little faster and whatnot. But overall, if you're coming from like the Series 9s, I won't see a really huge, difference about it.
I mean, I wear the Series 9 every day that I go to work. I mean, like I mentioned last episode, I have an iPhone, and they issued us an Apple Watch to go with it. So I wear both. I wear all three. I wear the Samsung, the Google Pixel Watch, and the Apple Watch. I have the Series 9, and honestly, it doesn't seem like much of an upgrade for me. I have all of them. I have my favorites obviously between them, but yeah, it didn't seem like much of an upgrade. It's not something I'm like rushing out for to pair a new watch. I mean, even my work's not issuing us the new watch, and they issue us the new phones every year. I mean, there are 4 real reasons worth upgrading to realistically, but that's only if these things really pertain to you. The speaker on the watch is actually usable to listen to music, unlike on previous models, which were pretty pathetic when it came to speakers on smartwatches, but that's a controversial topic. I mean, who really listens to things from their watches other than maybe making a brief phone call or you're in the middle of something and you can't pick up your phone? I mean, it also offers a new LTPO panel that goes down to 1 hertz refresh rate to save battery. I mean, that is pretty nice. I mean, we've seen what it does for battery life on these phones, so that's definitely beneficial. You have the water temperature sensor, I mean, and they included a new charger which allows for fast charging, which I think is a little stupid because now you're being forced to upgrade if you have multiple chargers in your house. You're being forced to upgrade all of the chargers to this new fast charger.
Like, I get what you're saying, but I mean, with all these new features and whatnot, how's the price looking, honestly?
It's starting at $399, which I guess is reasonable when it comes to smartwatches. I mean, it is on the higher end. I mean, I know the price for Google, I want to say it's $349 or $349 for the 41 millimeter and $399 for the 45. So it's comparable, but Samsung's got it beat when it comes to the price. I mean, they're $299 for the 40 millimeter and $329 for the 44. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, personally, I agree with you because honestly, when I paid for my Apple Watch Ultra, I paid $800 for just that watch, and it was 45 millimeters. Ain't too much of a big difference. Maybe it has 2 GPUs and whatnot, but it wasn't. When I first purchased it, honestly, paying like almost the price of a phone for the watch, I don't know. I mean, I was being thrown around by my kid, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. The worst part about the Apple Watch for me always has been is the fact that it can only pair with iPhones.
Yeah.
Whereas the Samsung Watch and the Pixel Watch can be paired with your iPhone. Now, you don't get full functionality, but at least you can pair the watch with the phone.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can still use basic health tracking features. The other way is not, it doesn't work the other way around.
Enough about the health tracking. I think the only cool thing I would like find from the Series 10 is the new sleep apnea detection. But then again, they always say that those things aren't accurate. So how accurate is it, and is it worth the upgrade for a lot of people? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wear my one smartwatch when I sleep at night. I mean, I check to see, all I use it for really is just to see how many hours I got last night of sleep. I mean, and it tells me a readiness level. Okay, great. Like, am I going to have energy to go to the gym? Am I going to have energy to do anything that I need to do throughout the day? But the funny thing, actually, now that we're talking about the readiness level from this watch, is the fact that today it said that you are not ready to do anything, but I was ready to jump up out of bed and go to the gym, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I got like 5 hours of sleep last night and I was ready to go to the gym. I was ready to get my day going. And then the weather just took a turn for me.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. It was pretty. It's been pretty muggy. But another thing about the Apple Watch that I ain't too big of a fan of. I mean, it depends on the person. I didn't mind it at times, but it's that square watch feel. It kind of stands out. Yeah, it's sometimes cool and all, but man, personally, the squareness, especially on a bigger watch, I mean, it gets annoying.
It does. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the square boxy design. I mean, we even talked about that when it came to the new Pixel new Pixel phone design last episode. But I mean, I don't know. Something's for everybody. I'm a big watch guy, so even when I'm not wearing my smartwatches, I'll wear different kinds of watches that I have, and I just prefer a nice round bezel. I mean, even the screens that I have on my smartwatches make them look like regular phone or regular watches, that they don't even look like a smartwatch.
Right. Well, speaking about the circular, I mean, how do you like the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7? I've heard some pretty good things about it. What do you think?
Well, it's got the rotating bezels, which Apple doesn't have. They just have the crown. It has a bigger screen and it's got good health tracking. Of the three smartwatches, I think it probably has the best health tracking, in my personal opinion, having used all three when I go to the gym. And it's got that good price point at $299 for a 40 millimeter. I mean, that's just great. The old Pixel watch was a 41 millimeter, and I thought that was perfect when I went to the gym. It's not too big, it's not too bulky. It's like the perfect size to just sit on your wrist and do what you need to do. Now, do I like the 45 millimeter? Of course, because when I'm out and about and I'm doing anything throughout the day, I can just sit there and look at it and read things, respond to text messages. It's great. So, I mean, it's all personal opinion on what size you want, but I think that the Galaxy Watch is probably one of the better of the three watches that we're talking about today. I have the Galaxy Watch 6. I got it from my carrier for free when I upgraded my phone last year, the year before, I think it was last year. It's my daily driver when I work. I don't trust my Pixel Watch out in the wild. I've seen too many horror stories of people just smacking their watch on the wall and it just shattering. And as Google has openly said before, the watch can't be repaired. Basically, it's just e-waste. So for me, I don't trust my Pixel Watch out in the wild, but I do trust my Galaxy Watch. That thing has gone through the ringer. And I've had the Galaxy Watch 1, I had the Galaxy Watch 3, I have the Galaxy Watch 6 now. And I mean, I don't really see a reason to upgrade from the 6 to the 7 other than to get the newest, latest features. But I think Galaxy Watch hands down is really good. And I know when you asked me for suggestions, now that you swapped from Apple to Android with this Pixel, you asked me what watch I would have suggested, and honestly, I threw out the idea of the Galaxy Watch 6, and you're like, well, what about the 7? I mean, it's personal preference, but I think the 6 is more than enough.
I mean, honestly, if you're looking for anything that's affordable, still good to use, even with the latest tech. I mean, when I was looking at it, we discussed that the Galaxy 6 still basically is the Galaxy 7 with just small features that that a 7 doesn't have. But for the price point that it has, I mean, I think it's worth it. I know that's the one I'm for sure aiming for.
it's everybody's choice when they're a user of what smartwatch they should go with. But I mean, obviously I've got my personal opinion, being as though I've used all three of basically the latest smartwatches.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's that in my opinion.
So okay. So now that we talked about Galaxy Watch and Apple Watch, what about Google? I mean, they're finally stepping up with the Pixel 3. I heard you got your hands on one early. What are your favorite features about it, and what do you think needs to be worked on?
All right. So I did, in fact, get my Pixel Watch a day early. I did set it up. I did use it a day early, and I immediately thought I was going to regret it. I had the Pixel Watch 1. That was my house smartwatch that I would just wear when I'm walking around the house, when I'm doing things at the house. And I loved that watch. It had about a 24-hour battery, and it would charge in about 10 minutes. I would take the Pixel Watch 1 off my wrist when I went to go get in the shower. By the time I showered, brushed, did my daily startup, the watch was completely full. I never had to worry about the battery. What I really like about the Pixel Watch 3, though, is the fact that I get like 3 days out of this battery. It's crazy. It's something completely different from the Pixel Watch 1. Now, I don't use the always on display, but with this Pixel Watch 3, I mean, I can go probably safe to say through 3 days without having to worry about charging it. I mean, honestly, it's crazy. Only reason I traded up was because they were giving me so much on trade-in for my Pixel Watch 1. And I didn't think the Pixel Watch 2 was much of an upgrade. We received a larger display. I mean, is it really necessary? No. We got two different sizes. We got a 41 millimeter coming in at $349 now, and a 45 at $399. We got a brighter display, which is always a good thing. I didn't think that the display had an issue. There's definitely a performance boost that I've noticed. The watch is significantly smoother than the Pixel Watch 1. And there's been some deeper Fitbit integration, as well as a longer battery life, because obviously the bigger watch can accompany a bigger battery. I don't know. The Fitbit integration thing for me, it's good and it's bad. I mean, like I said, I like that readiness. I like the morning routine thing that it does for me every morning when I sleep with it and I get up. It automatically tells me, like, hey, this is what the weather's going to be like today. This is how much you've slept last night. This is what your readiness is that we think based off of your current trends. Like, if anything was wrong during your sleep, it lets you know. So I think that those are some great features, but I don't think it sells it. I really don't. The speaker is actually usable, though. I've had to take a few phone calls on this. It has a decent built-in mic. You can have a full conversation. The other person thinks that you're just talking through a pretty shitty cell phone, but it works.
Yeah, it still works.
So, I mean, other than that, I mean, they're trying to make a statement here, but I don't know if they truly are 100% competing with the other ones yet. But I think they definitely took a step up from the 1 to the 3.
I mean, the way it kind of sounds like, the way I'm thinking about it right now is the Galaxy Watch seems to be more of like the active person. You know what I'm saying? Because it can withstand more. It has that durability. And the Pixel Watch kind of seems geared more towards like the homebody people, things that like to keep it simple, get up, do what they gotta do, mainly be at home, that type of thing, because it's not as durable, but it's still simple to use and it's still personalized to the person. Kind of how like the Google Pixel phones are, kind of accommodate to the person and how they are. I feel like that's kind of how they're kind of doing the watch as well. It's more for like the homebody type, because I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with that, but the Pixel phone isn't for the homebody. I think anybody could rock a Pixel phone.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like the Pixel phone is a whole different story, but with like the watches and them getting into it, I mean, that's what it kind of seems like, at least with the watches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's your opinion about it? I mean, obviously you're in the market, you're shopping around. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, honestly, I'm a very active person. I mean, I'll get up, I have a child, so I'm always moving around. I want something that's durable, it's gonna last long. It's pretty accurate, it gives me everything I'm looking for. And I mean, they're both really good options. Like, don't get me wrong, the Pixel and the Galaxy Watch. But given the fact of durability, I'm gonna for sure go with that the Galaxy Watch, and it's for sure gonna be the 6. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 7 it sounds great and all, but if I basically get the same features on the 6, save myself some money. And I mean, I remember we checked on Amazon, the bespoke edition is basically the same thing, and then I mean that's the one I really have my sights on, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, we can't talk about wearables without mentioning the earbuds. These days, they're practically glued to people's ears.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. For the noise canceling wonders that they provide to the fitness focused people who need some good buds to have in their ear when they go to work out, there's a pair for everyone, man. Let's switch gears and dive into the world of wearable earbuds.
Man, I'm all ears. Everyone has always has that pair of headphones with them, and with so many out in the market, it's hard to tell which is best, honestly, and what fits each person's needs. What are your thoughts on the earbuds?
It seems like every time a new smartphone comes out, there's always a set of new earbuds that come out into the market. And honestly, I mean, it's so hard to keep up with all the different earbuds. And I think we did a pretty good job of figuring out what there is to say. I mean, but let's start here with Apple, and they announced the new buds that go alongside their iPhone 16. Samsung launched a pair of new buds about a month ago, and Google just announced their latest pair of buds too. There's a lot going on. It's an arms race. But we're going to start talking about the Galaxy Bud 3 first.
I mean, honestly, the rumors are flying, and they sound pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've seen some reviews online. Supposedly, they're going all in with this active noise cancellation this time. I've had a pair of them in the past. They're okay. I mean, they're nothing to write home about. I mean, ANC is ANC.
Yeah, that's honestly what I'm looking for in mine. The ANC on my current earbuds are just alright. I mean, I got the Beats. I went from the AirPods to the Beats because the Beats were a little better, you know. But I want something that really blocks out the world, when I'm trying to focus, because I can't focus if I hear other things. I know another thing I really look for is sound quality.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of personal preference though, sound quality, because I actually was just having this conversation with my significant other about that, and they're in the market for a pair of earbuds as well, and they're like, "Hey, what should I get?" I'm like, "It's personal preference. You want to try mine? I have a whole bunch of different ones." They had not the Beats, but they had the AirPods, and their AirPods are starting to break, which is why now they're in the market for a new pair of earbuds. And they're like, "Well, I don't know. I have a Pixel. I don't know if I want the Pixel Buds. I don't know if I want to go with the Samsung Galaxy Buds. I don't know if I want to go with another pair of AirPods." It's just like, it's crazy. I think that's a lot of it's personal preference, though. I have my preference. Obviously, I have a daily driver that I've had two pairs of. So that's that.
I mean, honestly, when it comes to the earbuds, I've had a couple of them. Like the AirPods were nice, but they didn't have the ANC. They didn't have the good quality, and all that type of stuff. And I had the the Pros on that. I mean, I got ran over by a car, which is kind of why I also stopped using them, and I went to the Beats. But the Beats were all right, you know what I'm saying? So I know that's a huge thing, that I'm looking for. But on top of the sound quality, the battery life is also a concern too. Hopefully they've managed to squeeze a few more hours out of these, because, man, having to charge it at least every 2 hours or 3 hours just to get some music out of it gets annoying.
Yeah, that seems to be the running issue with all of these earbuds, though, is the battery life. They always boast 24, 36 hours of battery, but it's not out of the buds. It's out of the case.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The Galaxy Buds 3, I think, could be a great winner for the right person. I'm definitely excited to see how they hold up. I mean, they've only been out for about a month, so I don't know until we see some real reviews and people actually get their hands on them. And I mean, like, in the masses. The big thing I've seen, though, a lot lately is the issue with charging, just like the AirPods had, because they charge at the base just like the AirPods do. And people are saying that earwax and other stuff and lint is getting caught at the bottom, and it's preventing their earbuds from charging. So they'll put their earbuds in the case, and then an hour or two later, they'll come pick them back up and use them. And the battery will still be dead because it didn't charge, because there's something at the bottom of it.
Yeah. No, that's a big thing, especially with the type of chargers that they be using and stuff like that. But, well, let's transition a little to Apple, what they announced. So with all the new the AirPods 4, AirPod Maxes, and the AirPods Pro 2, I know they came out with different varieties, especially with the iPhone 16. They have a cheaper version of the AirPod Pros. Honestly, I think it's, on the top of my head, like $50 cheaper. I mean, it doesn't have that silicone. It's more of that classic look. So you have that cheaper version. And then the AirPod Maxes, I mean, I never tried them myself. I heard they were pretty decent, so I don't really know much about it. But the AirPods 4 are supposed to have a better battery life and a more comfortable fit.
Well, that's always a plus. I'm also digging the new AirPod Max's colors. Those midnight blue. I mean, you know me and the blue color, man. I love that. It's really calling my name. But you can't forget the fact that they finally changed the charging port to USB-C. Come on, let's get with the program, guys. It's already been accepted. You had to change the charger on the iPhone. Thank God you finally are doing it on your AirPods too.
It's about time, because I'm tired of looking for two different cables, or having, well, when I used to have the iPhone, looking for different cables, and now my girl's doing the same thing. It's getting annoying. But I ain't gonna lie, the orange color is pretty bold. I like it. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the real game changer seems to be those hearing health features on the AirPods Pros too.
Yeah, I was reading about that. They have active hearing protection, which is supposed to be pretty good. And they put it through some hearing tests, and it has a hearing aid feature in it. That seems crazy, especially for the world of like earbuds that people are supposed to be listening to music from. How can an earbud pass a test to become a hearing aid?
Honestly, I don't know, but it's a huge turn for AirPods Pros. You know, with the full-on hearing health device, it could be huge for accessibility, especially for those who can't afford, hearing aids and that type of thing.
I mean, I know you had the AirPods before making the switch to the Pixel. What are your thoughts on some of these big changes?
I mean, I've had the original ones, and I had the original, the Pros and whatnot. I think it's a pretty good change. I mean, especially with these hearing features and all that type of stuff, it could be a good, good upgrade. I mean, I stopped using AirPods a while back, and I don't think I would go back for it. But hey, you never know. Personally, I mean, mine's got ran over by a car, so I can't really say much about it.
Well, fair enough. I mean, in addition to owning all three smartwatches, I also own a pair of the AirPods. I don't know what AirPods I own. They don't have the silicone in them. They don't have those plug-in or those like silicone pieces in your ear. But I do have them. And by God, are those most uncomfortable things in the world.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
One of the biggest things is that non-silicone feeling is you got to put them in your ear the right way. It's super uncomfortable. There's no way for it to even cancel the noise, for it to even be comfortable and that type of thing, especially when I'm running. I remember when I used to run with them, they'll fall out of my ear. And that's how it kind of got destroyed in the first place. But yeah.
I mean, that's the funny part. My work gave them to me and said, hey, use them when you fly on airplanes, when you fly for work. Okay, but they don't have any way of isolating sound. They're also like, oh, we expect you to work out a lot for this job. Okay. Well, when I lay down to do a bench press, the earbuds fall out. Yeah, that ended up going from being in my bag to ending up in a drawer collecting dust somewhere because they're uncomfortable and they just don't fit me day to day. There's no reason for me to be carrying that.
No, it's not worth it. Even with the little silicone piece, it doesn't do much of a difference. That's the one thing I would say the biggest flaw with the Apple AirPods. It's not, doesn't fit the ear no matter what you do. I think the only ones that actually make a difference are the Maxes, because that goes over your ears where you can kind of get that noise cancellation, maybe a little better quality and that type of thing. But then again, you're not trying to carry $500 headphones with you and them being bulky,
Exactly. I mean, a price to performance it is a big thing too. We were talking price to performance when it comes to smartwatches, but we also talk about them when it comes to earbuds. I mean, do you want to be walking around with a $500 pair in your backpack? I mean, I don't.
Absolutely not.
It was crazy when I had to drop $150 on a new pair of earbuds because my old ones bit it finally. I mean, it's crazy. I want good quality. I want good features, but I don't want an arm and a leg price, especially in something that I'm going to be wearing around day in, day out, something that could potentially get damaged, something, I'm not trying to drop $500 to $550 a year on new earbuds if I'm not the nicest or the most gentlest with them.
Yeah, especially when we have an active life, like having those type of things. There's also durability, honestly. Like paying that much money and then them not being that durable or that type of like comfortable or whatever it may be, there's no worth to it. That's why I switched away from them even when I had the iPhone. Even though, yeah, cool, you had Siri more accessible and all that, but it wasn't worth it.
Well, speaking of having Siri on the earbuds, let's take a transition over to Google here. I mean, they have Gemini on their earbuds now. You can't forget about Google side of the house when it comes to buds. I mean, you own a Pixel phone now. So what would be stopping you from getting a new pair of Pixel Buds or Pixel Bud Pro 2s? I mean, hey, why not we go talk about them now?
No, yeah. I saw about the new Pixel Buds too. They just dropped them and they look really sick. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I saw the announcement. Not gonna lie, copped a pair myself, and I'm hoping they show up early. They really advertised the noise cancellation this time, and if they're anything like the Pixel Buds 1, their noise cancellation, if it's getting any better, it's gonna be great. I daily drive the Pixel Buds 1 Pro, Pixel Buds Pro 1 every day, and it's my second set that I've had, and I fly pretty frequently for work, and I can't even hear the airplane. I can't hear the airplane. Now, granted, if I stop listening to audio, I hear a faint hum, but it's not like I'm sitting next to the jet engine, So their ANC is pretty good.
Okay. I mean, I can't really say much about the Buds because I never had them. I'm still trying to look in the market for them. But from when you told me with the noise cancellation and all that, I mean, it all sounds great. And that's something I'm really looking forward to, especially when I'm not trying to be mean, but, block out what's going on at home with the baby crying and whatever it may be. I mean, if it blocks out a plane, it'll block out a kid, right?
This is true. And if me owning 2 pairs can attest to anything, it's that they do a pretty good job.
Okay.
Speaking of owning 2 pairs, I mean, that's not normal for most people. I found out real quick that the Pixel Buds Pro 1 aren't the safest to have near water. I happened to be in the gym, and I went to the bathroom to wash my hands, and earbud dropped in the sink for less than 5 seconds, and put it back in I let it dry out, and yeah, that bud was shot.
Oh, that sucks, and that's one of the biggest things too. Is like you never know when they fall out or whatever it may be, especially at the gym. Like how you had like one of those occasions. Sometimes having that water resistance, it helps. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, that's why I like the design of the new Pixel Buds Pro 2, because they have that little fin that helps it lock in your ear, and they said it's supposed to be specifically for that reason. I don't have that issue normally, though. I've gone over a year with the original Pixel Buds Pros, and I never had the issue where it fell out. This was just that one-off case where it happened.
Right.
Now, the other thing that I noticed just the other day is I was going through the App Store and I was updating my apps, and I noticed that the Pixel Buds app was getting updated. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's been a minute since I've seen that. I'm like, all right, well, maybe they're prepping for the Buds 2 coming out. Cool, no big deal. I'm going to preemptively update. I know I have the new ones coming in the mail. Why not? Well, I realized real quick that they actually added an app to the phone. Before, you had to do everything through the settings tab. You go to Bluetooth in your phone, and you would click on the Pixel Buds, and then it would take you to an app that you don't have access to normally. So I was like, all right, this is cool. I can access my Pixel Bud app at any time, whether or not the buds are connected. The issue with that, and a lot of people are noticing it, including myself, is the fact that it removed touch to read notifications.
Really?
But why? I mean, I don't understand it. If you don't know what I mean by touch to read notifications, the Pixel Buds, they were specifically made for the Pixels, obviously. You can use them with any phone or any device, but they were tailored for a Pixel phone. There's a lot of Pixel-specific features that you could use and have access to with these Pixel Buds. And one of the big things for me was this touch to read notification. So first, it would beep if you got a text message or some kind of notification while you're listening to music. It was just a faint beep. You're like, all right, cool, no big deal. I got a notification. So you touch whichever earbud that you had set up with it. You touch that bud, and it would tell you the time, and it would read you the notification and who it came from. There were plenty of times when I was at the gym and I was texting you just by having it read and then ask me if I want to reply and what do I want to send. It was great. And I wouldn't look like I'm crazy when I'm at the gym until I started responding to your text message.
Right.
Or if it was a BS text message or something, I didn't need to pull my phone out and really get interrupted. I could still be mid-set and see, okay, well, what was that notification came in? Oh, it's nothing of importance. Keep going and doing what I'm doing. I mean, like, why are we replacing it? And they're replacing it by you having to use voice commands.
Really?
Yeah. I get that they're trying to implement Gemini, but some people want a silent way of hearing notifications, and I don't really want to look crazy when I talk out and loud, especially to earbuds and I'm not talking to anybody. I don't want to say, hey, Google, read me my notifications. I mean, that's, yeah, it gets me.
I don't want to have that need to speak out and call for it, that touch to read or just activating Gemini with the press of a button will be much easier, gives you that convenience so you can go from there. So I know what you mean.
The uproar on it is so loud, though, that I wouldn't be surprised if Google rolled it back. Honestly, the articles that came out, I was reading, they were bashing.
Oh, listen, sometimes it's all it takes. People talking about it, how they hate it, they're gonna change it back at the end of the day because they know they want people to buy it, and if they're gonna buy it because of that, I mean, they're gonna have to fix it and have no other choice. Well, to transition this from the Gemini and all that stuff, let's talk about the quality. I know they have a new custom tensor chip which is supposed to improve that quality. What are your thoughts?
Like I said before, I wouldn't be daily driving the Pixel Buds if I didn't think the audio quality was great and the Pixel exclusive features were great. I think the audio quality is great. I listen to music on it all the time. I mean, it just seems so nice. And if they're saying that this new tensor chip is going to allow for better quality audio, I mean, great. I'm not going to say no. Just like I'm not going to say no to better ANC. I mean, it sounds amazing to me, and there's a reason why I already ordered it, and it wasn't that Google was giving them to me for free, even though they basically did, but hey, yeah, I mean, they definitely look more comfortable.
No, yeah, they definitely do. They redesigned the fit to be more secure and comfortable for all-day wear. I mean, that's one of the best things about it. So I know you recently flew out. And I'm pretty sure you took your headphones with you because I'm pretty sure everybody takes them everywhere. How did that go?
I was on a 9-hour flight to London.
That's long.
It is a long flight, man. And yes, I took those with me. Did I have my AirPods with? Yes. Did I have my Beats with? Yes. I had 3 different earbuds. And guess what? I only used the one. And it was the Pixel Buds Pro. I mean, if this doesn't attest to me loving them, I don't know what does. I mean, the battery life on them is fine. I probably went through 5 to 6 hours of listening to them straight before I was even concerned that the battery was getting low. When I looked, it was at about 23 to 25% on each of the buds respectively. And what I did was I took one of the buds out, I put that bud in the case, I listened, and I was kept doing what I was doing with the other bud in. It was a quiet plane. Everybody was sleeping because it was overnight, so all I had was the hum of the plane, which wasn't horrible, honestly. Yeah. These new big 787s, they're pretty good when it comes to isolating sound, so you can sleep and basically without earbuds in. It's surprising. I was thoroughly surprised when it came to that. But yeah, I was perfectly fine with just one in, watching my shows, watching my movies, doing what I was doing, and I let the other one top off, and by the time the one that I left in my ear basically completely died, the other one was at like 75-80%.
Oh, that's not bad, and you only had a couple hours after that for your flight.
So. Exactly. So I topped off that one. I did the quick interchange. I topped it up, and I think it basically got me through all the way basically landing. I think probably for like the last hour I put both in because the entire crew was waking up the rest of the plane, so people started talking, people started moving around. So I wanted to watch my stuff in peace.
Right.
So I put both in and it got me through landing. And honestly, I can say that they're pretty comfortable. And if they're saying that they're going to be even more comfortable now, hey, that's a plus for me because I know I have plenty of international flights coming up in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially because I'm planning to travel and things like that, and then, I want that same comfort. And I mean, I'm taking your word for it. Especially because you're the one that's be traveling a lot. So I'm really excited to see how this is gonna go. But really cool part about it is, aside from all the tech and all that stuff, they're coming in with some pretty cool new colors.
Are they coming out with some new colors? What colors?
They got porcelain, hazel, a bright lemongrass, and a classic black. Something for everybody, honestly.
Really? Okay. I kind of knew that already. I was just trying to get you to spill the beans on what colors. I think there's a pink color too, not gonna lie. Really? I think I saw one. But I grabbed a pair of hazel. I mean, you know me, I'm rocking hazel on everything from the phone to the watch to the buds. So grabbed myself a pair of hazels. And I'm always down for more color options, so that's a good thing. So I'm not gonna complain about that. What about the battery life? That's always a key factor for me, especially with traveling.
Yeah, they say it's up to 11 hours of listening time with ANC off and 7 hours with it on. Plus, the case gives you an extra 20 hours, which is not bad at all.
So that's a slight upgrade over the Pixel Buds 1. I mean, like I said, I got about 5 to 6 hours with ANC on. So if it's going up to 7, that's pretty good. We'll probably even stretch it to 7.5, maybe 8 hours. I wouldn't be surprised. They're probably saying 7 to be safe. But if it's got an extra 20 in the case, that's great because the original ones, I think they're advertised with 24 hours total between the buds and the case. So if there's an extra 20 on top of the between 7 and 11 hours on top of that, that's phenomenal. So it's definitely not bad at all. I've never really had an issue with the battery on my old buds in the past, so I'm excited to care even less. Seems like Google's definitely stepping their game up this year. And what about this new Gemini Live feature that I'm hearing about being built into them too, though? That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, touching up, I know you mentioned a little bit about it, but personally, it does feel like it's a huge game changer. I know I like having fun with Gemini. I mean, it feels like more of a conversation. It's easier to go with than having to wait for Siri or Google Assistant, whatever it may be. So it'll be fun. Honestly, it'll be really exciting. I'm excited to see what other features they bring in with Gemini, especially because now it'll be easier to access. I grab your phone and then press a certain button or whatnot just to activate it. Now you'll have it the touch of a button or whatever you gotta do. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun. I'm really tempted to grab a pair and see how they stack up against my current buds, because man, the Beats I have right now, they're good, but I can't do no Google Assistant or nothing like that. So it's gonna be really interesting to see.
Have you used much of the Gemini Live feature on your Pixel since the last time, or has it been one of those features that you kind of used at the beginning and now it's fading away?
Oh no, man! I be using my Gemini for everything, checking my emails, checking status on everything, personal recommendations for restaurants, things to do. I mean, sometimes I ain't gonna lie to you, I want to grab my phone and look something up, but I really don't want to type things in. It's just pretty convenient to just ask Gemini to do it for me, and then they'll give you a transcript right after with links or whatever it may be. Honestly, I still use it to this day, and I'm using it more than I ever did any other, you know, any other, I guess, virtual assistant I've ever had.
Okay, so definitely this is a big selling point for you with these new Gemini Live features on the Buds as well.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
All right, so that wraps up today's episode of the Upgrade Cycle. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of wearables, from smartwatches that keep you connected and on track to the earbuds that deliver your immersive sound. It's clear that these devices are becoming an essential part of our lives. Remember, the world of tech is constantly evolving, and we're here to keep you up to date. So make sure you subscribe to the Upgrade Cycle for the latest news, reviews, and insight into all things tech. Until next time, keep those wearables charged and stay tuned for our next episode.